CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
I'm really proud of myself for just staying focused and not letting the pressure get to me too much, and just kind of having fun out there and focusing on my tricks and being able to execute them cleanly and walk away with some hardware.
We are into the final stretch of the Milano Cortina Games, and Canada has struck gold once again. Good evening. Landing on the podium for the second time, it's our local superstar, Megan Oldham, shining bright and this time taking home gold. CTV's Rob Cooper heads to Parry Sound, then to where Megan first hit the slopes to take in all the excitement.
It was the performance of a lifetime, a gold medal showing for Parry Sound's Megan Oldham. The 24-year-old picked up her second medal of the Games yesterday in the women's big air competition.
It's just like hoping that my score would be enough, and as the last two girls came down, it really like sunk in, like, oh my gosh, this is happening.
It's been an amazing journey for Oldham after being sidelined by a concussion in November. With family and friends on hand, countless hours of training led to this moment.
The switched up 12 is a fairly new trick for me that I learned this year, and it's very technical. You have to have a really proper takeoff, otherwise it can be pretty dangerous, so lots of practice.
As Oldham was competing, the eyes of the country were watching, none closer than those in her small town of Parry Sound, especially those from her former high school.
I had tears in my eyes. I was so proud of her and so excited. I couldn't believe that she did it, although I can believe she did it because she's worked so hard.
Student athletes who go to Parry Sound High School say the success of Oldham helps give them the courage to push forward with their own Olympic dreams.
Honestly, it's just super inspiring to see someone from our school doing things like that. It's just super neat to see that she's able to do something like that. It just really makes you think that anything is possible coming from a small town like this.
I watched it with my family, and as I saw that she won gold, I was jumping up and down screaming.
Oldham's skiing days started and still continue at Mount St. Louis Moonstone. Today, staff at the Hill celebrating their friend's golden moment.
Oh, it's over the top. You know how, from our little ski hills here, we've got an Olympic athlete that wins a gold and a bronze. Unbelievable.
Congratulations to her, and inspire young trainer to train here.
Maybe win gold themselves.
Yes.
Now, there will be plenty of opportunity for people to celebrate when Oldham returns. For one, the town of Parry Sound plans to hold a massive celebration at the end of the month. And here at Mount St. Louis Moonstone, staff plan to rename either a hill or a jump in her honor. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Mount St. Louis Moonstone.
And while Canadian athletes continue to bring home medals overseas, the next generation is ready to take the stage right here at home. CTV's Luke Simard has more on how competitors from right across the province are set to hit the ice, slopes and rinks at the Ontario Winter Games in Orillia.
As the sun glistens through Centennial Park in Orillia, it will soon welcome thousands of young athletes to the 2026 Ontario Winter Games.
It goes over the next 2 weekends. We have more than 15,000 meals will serve, 2,300 athletes will attend. It's a great time to showcase Orillia and what we have to offer.
Community centers around the city getting ready for an influx of athletes to take over their facilities and call Orillia their temporary home. From curling to volleyball and cross-country skiing, 18 sports across 13 venues are scheduled to take place.
By a variety of sports, they can expect to see athletes competing hard, and they can expect to see a lot of fun.
3 weeks ago, a call out for volunteers to help with the games, and residents didn't disappoint.
I just want to say I'm so proud of Orillia and the number of people who stepped up to volunteer. Those volunteers are going to make these games roll, and that's really exciting.
Orillia is no stranger to hosting. It was home to the Ontario Youth Winter Games in both 2018 and 2020, and then in 2024 held the Ontario 55+ Winter Games, with the city expecting an economic impact of up to $5 million.
It's great. They love the historic city. They love the downtown, the waterfront. They see what we have to offer, and a lot of them come back later. They say, gosh, this is enough for me I've seen it a bit, but I want to see more, so they come back, and we love it.
Hotels are already fully booked. It's expected that more than 2,600 night stays will take place.
We're actually happy to house them in our building. You know, they definitely bring a lot of money to the economy. They eat, they sleep, they shop here. So who wouldn't want them in their beautiful city, especially Sunshine City like Orillia?
Thousands of athletes will be here at Centennial Park on Thursday night, where the first of 2 opening ceremonies will be held. From the ice rinks to the hard courts to the ski hills, the Ontario Winter Games in Orillia will be the place to be, where the future of Canadian athletes are taking the provincial stage. Luke Simard, CTV News, Orillia.
Casey Colby beginning the newscast on a lovely little note that includes the weather. A gorgeous day today, but I understand that's all going to change.
So true. So true. Just as we were saying, thank you, Mother Nature. Love the sunshine. I'm going to go hatless. Not for long, that is for sure, and in a big way. I want to draw your attention right now to the Weather Watches and Warnings Board. There it is, and here it comes. And this is the area in yellow, a snowfall warning. Simcoe County, York Region, Muskoka. There is 15 centimeters of snow and certainly the possibility of ice pellets on the way. The area in orange, freezing rain warning and a fog warning, up to 5 millimeters of ice accretion possible, and that would cover the Grey Bruce area for the most part. So yeah, brace yourself, here it comes. Goodbye sunshine, here comes some heavy-duty precipitation, mixed precipitation. This is the first look at the forecast brought to you by Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. 5 degrees out here now, Sarah. Lovely, lovely. Winds are out of the northwest, 11 kilometers an hour. They're going to gust as high as about 50 a little later on this evening as things ramp up. And this is the temperature outside your doors we speak, and 6 degrees in Newmarket, 5 in Alliston. Look at the line. 6 degrees in Mount Forest, still very, very mild. And then further up, Parry Sound way, -1. And in Owen Sound, looks like -1. A quick look, if you will. This is the radar satellite images over the last little while. It looks relatively calm, doesn't it? What are you talking about, Kate? Whoa, yeah. We back it up a little bit, and you see that system making its way up, originating in Montana and making its way up towards us now, picking up moisture as it covers the Great Lakes. And there is still some open water, particularly on Lake Superior and Lake Michigan, as far as open water goes and picking up moisture and adding to that snowfall and possibly ice accretion with freezing rain and ice pellets. So it is really, it's winter. It's winter in South Central Ontario. Coming up in just a few minutes' time, we'll let you know when we get yet another little break in the forecast. All that in a few minutes' time. Back inside Sarah.
And as we keep an eye on that forecast, there is a warning for commuters. Those using GO Transit and the Up Express should be prepared for possible delays. Metrolinx is urging riders to plan ahead and use caution at stations and especially on platforms, making use of shelters where possible. The City of Vaughan is urging people to think twice before tossing cigarette butts, or it could cost you. Anyone caught throwing cigarette or cigar butts on the street could now face a minimum $500 fine. This new bylaw comes as city crews reported collecting nearly 18,000 bags of litter and more than 1,000 tons of debris from city-owned land last year alone. Days after a 61-year-old beaten man was in court facing allegations of historical sex crimes against children, another trial got underway, this time 2 women accusing him of sexual assault. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports, but first a warning tonight that details in this story may be triggering to some viewers.
Accused of sexually assaulting 2 women, John Wilkinson is on trial. The prosecution telling the court both complainants said they were fondled by Wilkinson in separate incidents between 2017 and 2019. One woman testified she was touched between her legs, turned around and saw a smug look on the man's face while attending a funeral for a family friend nearly 7 years ago. The complainant testified Wilkinson later touched her chest. The woman said she didn't know him until she saw his face and name on the news, identifying the man as the accused in court, John Wilkinson. The trial's first witness corroborated the complainant's testimony, telling the court the woman described being assaulted by Wilkinson while at a funeral. The witness said the complainant told her she initially didn't know the man's name, but was aware his wife was a police officer. The complainant described being very upset by what happened to her, but only came forward to provincial police in 2024, when Wilkinson had been charged by police for separate historical sexual assault allegations made public by the OPP, who appealed for witnesses and other complainants to contact investigators. The complainant testified when she heard Wilkinson was charged by police with sex crimes involving children, she came forward, telling the court Wilkinson needed to be held accountable for harming children. Wilkinson's trial is scheduled to resume in March. The allegations against him have not been tested in court. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Barrie.
Corrections Canada is looking into the death of an inmate at Beaver Creek Institution in Gravenhurst. In a release, Correctional Services Canada says 51-year-old Jason Hubler died in custody earlier today. According to previous reporting, Hubler was sentenced for a life for a murder for his conviction back in 2011. No cause was released. Any death of an inmate requires the OPP and coroner to be notified. 14 people were arrested after a well-being check at a Letitia Heights home. Barrie police were called to a house on Scott Crescent just before 3:30 on Sunday afternoon, where they located a woman who had been reported missing. She was found safe and in good health, but several of those taken into custody were related to outstanding warrants. Police say there's no risk to public safety and call the incident isolated. That investigation still ongoing. One woman has died after she was hit by a vehicle in Aurora. This happened around 2:30 on Monday morning in the Goulding Avenue and Wellington Street area. Police say they arrived on scene to find the pedestrian with serious injuries, but she was pronounced dead shortly after. The driver remained at the scene. No word yet if charges will be laid. So Simcoe police are asking for the public's help tonight, sharing photos of the suspects from the daytime home invasion in Bradford, West Gwillimbury that happened just before 2 p.m. on February 13th. Officers say that these three masked men forced their way into a home on McCann Crescent armed with handguns. The suspects then fled in a gray Honda Civic with a stolen Ontario plate. Police say the incident appears targeted and there's no ongoing risk to the public. However, officers will have an increased presence in that area as the investigation continues. 4 people are facing charges after Southern Georgian Bay OPP officers seized more than 900 grams of cocaine and over $41,000 in cash on February 12th from residences in both Midland and Barrie. The suspects are jointly charged with possession of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking and possession of property obtained by crime. Several long guns, knives, and ammunition were seized from a 61-year-old man who's now facing charges. This comes after Barrie police responded to a call from paramedics reporting a man flashing a firearm at a home on Ottaway Avenue in the area where they were responding to a medical incident at the time. This was just before 11 p.m. on Sunday night. Prime Minister Mark Carney officially unveiled his government's new $6.6 billion national defense strategy earlier today. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin breaks down what will come from this investment.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada has for too long relied on geography and others to protect the country, that his plan overhauls that strategy in a changing world.
It means building a domestic defense industrial base so we are never hostage to the decisions of others.
Others, including the U.S. Still, Carney insisted his strategy to arm the military and boost Canada's defense industry would be complementary, not in competition with American defense supply chains.
Its framework is simple: build, partner, buy. First, we will build in Canada and prioritize Canadian companies.
Canadian companies now provide roughly 1/3 of this country's military needs. Carney wants 70% over the next decade, and he wants to increase defense exports by 50%.
That's real growth.
Many of Canada's defense contractors have long focused on exports. This strategy could change that, but the industry says the procurement system has to be much leaner, faster.
If it doesn't happen, it could undermine the entire strategy that we just heard about today.
Many of the details had been revealed before, and the Conservatives criticized the strategy as filled with buzzwords and promises that won't deliver.
What I expect from this government is that they're going to put aside their partisanship and reach across the table and work with us to ensure that we can deliver.
But the government says it's setting up a defense investment agency to streamline the system, a centerpiece of its strategy. CAE is the world's largest simulator provider. Half of its business is for civil use, half for defense. Most of it, for now, exported.
We're talking about a sea change in spending and focus. And so as the government works on simplifying how to work with contractors, it only accelerates us.
But with this major overhaul of defense spending, many say that there's still some fine-tuning to be done to ensure that this strategy becomes reality. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
The federal government's revamped electric vehicle rebate program is now in effect. The new incentive grants Canadians access up to $5,000 from Ottawa to put toward purchasing a new electric vehicle. Plug-in hybrids are eligible for $2,500 in subsidies. Now, with some relief at the pumps and even cell phone bills, inflation across Canada slowed last month. But at the grocery store, it's a different story. CTV's Adrian Gabriel reports on how our nation now has the highest food inflation rate in the G7.
Putting the brakes on inflation at the pumps. Canada's annual inflation rate landed at 2.3% in January, a slight dip from 2.4% in December, with the price of gasoline driving the decline, dipping by more than 16% year over year.
Pretty good print with prices heading in the right direction.
After years of driving inflation, the cost of shelter is now actually helping keep things grounded.
Whether that's ownership costs, or we're seeing that rents overall are decelerating. I would say that big contributing factor to CPI continues to move in the right direction.
The same can't be said at the grocery store, where a 4.8% overall increase is leaving Canadians with a bitter taste. While rice, fresh vegetables, and eggs have decelerated, ground beef is up by more than 22% year over year. Nuts and seeds have spiked more than 13%, with roasted and ground coffee boiling over at more than 37%.
It's products that are affected by specific circumstances that are driving prices up.
Coffee yields, according to one economist, are being impacted by climate change. Droughts in recent years have in part led to Canadian farmers reducing their number of cattle to a near 40-year low.
Often we say when price goes up, demand goes down, and we're not very quick to stop eating beef. I expect that we'll see higher beef prices sustained for a few years.
While food costs remain a concern, overall the current rate of inflation is being pitched as a positive, even as the outlook remains murky, with so much riding on the whims of a U.S. administration and vital free trade negotiations.
Some economists believe there's a good chance that interest rates will hold when the Bank of Canada announces its next decision on March 18th, though GDP and unemployment could factor in to future rate decisions in April and June. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
And as Canadians grapple with the rising cost of living, it seems retirement plans are getting reworked. A new survey from BMO found nearly 75% of respondents say rising costs have left them uncertain about whether or not they'll have enough money to retire. Meanwhile, 66% of people say inflation is already impacting their ability to save and invest for their golden years. Experts say a key to addressing these concerns is to include inflation assumptions in your financial plans. Now back to that impending storm. The word winter is certainly beginning to have a bit of a triggering effect. Let's go to CTV's Jack Morris. He joins us live tonight with a look at winter's never-ending pursuit of making our lives challenging. Jack.
Well, Sarah, we got a brief break from that bad weather today. It was sunny, it was warm, it felt a little bit like spring. But Environment Canada senior climatologist Dave Phillips says it's a false spring. Plows here sit quiet, but they're not resting, they're waiting. A major winter storm's on the horizon, expected to sweep into our region tomorrow morning. Right now, forecasters say it'll start with snow, mixing with ice pellets or freezing rain, depending on where you are. It's going to be different from any of the storms we've faced in the last 5 weeks. All of those were firmly below freezing. But for this storm, the temperature will be hovering right around zero.
When you get near the freezing mark, it's wild. I mean, you can get rain, you can get snow, you can get freezing rain, ice pellets, a congealed mixture, all the above, and 1 degree can make the difference between whether you've got the umbrella out or you're shoveling. Just 1 degree. And so that's the problem tomorrow. It's a lot of uncertainty with this storm because of the temperature. We're not sure whether we'll be on the warm side of the system or the cold side of the system.
Now, some parts of our region could see up to 15 millimeters of ice buildup from freezing rain. That means that broken branches, power outage, and dangerous road conditions, well, they're almost a guarantee. Sarah.
All right, that's Jack Morris reporting live tonight. Now, we do have some good news to bring you from the Stroud branch of the Innisfil Idea Lab and Library after closing for repairs. It will soon open. The branch had been forced to temporarily close after that frozen pipe burst that happened on February 8th and caused flooding. Staff say the library and adjacent curling club were impacted and water service needed to be restored and damages repaired. Library programs and services will resume tomorrow, but the curling club still closed. The sweetest season is officially underway at Shaw's Maple Syrup and Pancake House in Oro-Medonte.
We have a very simple meal out here featuring maple syrup, and pancakes are the biggest feature of it. So Shrove Tuesday is a great day to visit our restaurant and enjoy a nice meal.
Now in its 122nd year, the local spot is back to serving up pancakes and their 100% pure maple syrup, and that's exactly what people lined up to enjoy today on Pancake Tuesday.
Every day is Pancake Day here for us, but we're very happy and proud that our local community supports us and comes out every Pancake Tuesday.
We've been drilling holes in the trees, tapping the trees for the last week and a half. No moisture yet. Just the tiniest little bit of moisture came this morning as we're tapping. So it's a slower start to the season, which is more enjoyable for us.
The Pancake House officially opened for the season on Valentine's Day, and to sweeten the deal, you can enjoy their walking trails and check out how the trees are tapped and really work up an appetite. Prayers and performances were held in Beijing today as China ushered in the Lunar New Year. Crowds enjoyed a vibrant traditional folk dance performance marking the arrival of the Year of the Horse. At a temple, thick clouds of incense smoke filled the air as worshippers and visitors celebrate the most important holiday on the Chinese calendar. Meanwhile, Mardi Gras celebrations fill the streets in New Orleans, with some parade goers lining up at sunrise to get good spots along that route. The party atmosphere of the holiday is also marked across Europe and Brazil, but New Orleans has the largest and best-known celebration in North America. The province has announced 30 new appointments to the Order of Ontario. Toronto International Film Festival CEO Cameron Bailey, hockey icon Don Cherry, and Rogers chairman Edward Rogers are among the list of people being honored. The recipients are being celebrated for what the province calls remarkable achievements and lasting contributions to Ontario. The appointees will be honored at a ceremony in Toronto a little later this year. And we now know that Canada is headed to the gold medal game in women's hockey at the Winter Olympics against the U.S. The Canadians edged Switzerland out 2-1 in yesterday's semifinal, with captain Marie-Philippe Poulin scoring both goals, becoming the first player to score 20 career goals in Olympic women's hockey. Now, hockey fans, you can cheer on the team in the women's gold medal game at Coca-Cola Coliseum. Tickets for the watch party are $15, with proceeds going to the MLS Foundation, and includes in-arena programming, giveaways, and family-friendly activities. The game gets underway at 1 p.m. on Thursday. From the rink to the track, Team Canada is capturing attention and clicking up some pretty big numbers at home. New data from Bonus Finder Canada shows more than 700,000 searches for Canadian hockey players were made during the games. Leading the pack, Newmarket's very own Connor McDavid with 162,000 monthly searches. He's followed by Mitch Marner, Brad Marchand, and Sidney Crosby. On the women's side, Laura Stacey and Sarah Nurse are driving strong interest, but here's a bit of a surprise. Skeleton ranks as Canada's most searched winter sport overall, just ahead of ice hockey and snowboarding. Probably a lot of questions on just how do they do it. Fascinating. Still to come, lovebirds flock to the Sunshine City. More on this unique wedding pop-up that helped couples tie the knot on Valentine's Day. Plus, the province's largest model train show chugged its way into Barrie. More on what conductors of all ages came to see. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Barrie. Thanks for staying with us. It was a weekend to celebrate love, and in Orillia, couples got a chance to say I do at a unique and intimate wedding venue.
Adrian, you may kiss your bride. We're having a pop-up wedding here in our Swanmore Chapel at the lovely National Historic Site of Stephen Leacock Home in Aurelia, Ontario. We have 6 couples that are getting married today.
Go slow. Go slow.
I love Valentine's Day. I love so much. I love hearts and pink and all of that stuff. So it was kind of perfect.
The power vested in me by the province of Ontario, I now pronounce you husband and wife. They can expect a nice, intimate ceremony here in the chapel for up to 10 guests. They will have a supplied charcuterie board and a bottle of bubbly from Fair Restaurant today, and 90 minutes of their time, plus as many photos as they can handle.
I personally prefer a small, intimate kind of thing versus the giant, outrageous, extravagant stuff that come from it.
It can feel pretentious at times,
Yeah.
the giant wedding, so this was just, it's so much better. It's so much more intimate.
A special wedding venue popped up just for one day, but organizers hoping to return for another day this summer. It was all aboard at Bradford Greenhouses as the Barrie Allendale Railway modelers rolled out the province's biggest model train show.
Trains that are running on portable layouts, and we have vendors selling all different kinds of trains, so different scales from different areas. So they might be European trains or Japanese trains, mostly North American trains.
It was built, this was started back in 2012. Okay. It starts off with foam, and we just work our way up from there, from plaster to painting everything, starting off with a black color of base paint, and then working up our layers to different colors.
Model railroading is for everybody. So if you're the artistic type, or you're just want to have a model railroad in a small space, we can make it work for everybody.
I always like to see the young crowd getting into the hobby, because otherwise it just kind of dies out. You know, it's, even though they're a little rougher with some of the toys, it's still nice seeing them get into it and how much passion they have for it.
This year's event marked 54 years of the annual tradition, with hundreds in attendance. Always loved my train set growing up. Wasaga Beach was a winter wonderland as Snowman Mania marked its 21st year with 4 days of frosty fun. Families bundled up and headed to the Recplex, Wasaga Stars Arena, and Nancy Island Historic Site for igloo building, skating, live performances, and the fan favorite, Snowman Challenge. Organizers say the long-running festival continues to bring the community together, proving winter is anything but chilly in the beach town. And it was a record-breaking weekend on the ice at the 2026 Braystone Winter Classic. Teams and families gathered pondside for a day of hockey, raising more than $190,000 for the Hudson Regional Cancer Center, the largest total in the event's history. And local children got a chance to spend a day in the shoes, or shall we say skates, of our city's rising hockey superstars. The Barrie Colts hosted the 21st annual Colt for a Day event on Sunday in partnership with the Kempenfelt Rotary Club. 30 kids got to spend hours on the ice at Southland Arena training alongside the players. The day wrapped up with a $15,000 donation from the Rotary Club to the YMCA Simcoe Muskoka branch. Finally, our Barrie South Innisfil MP John Passard also hit the ice at Southland Arena, hosting a free family day skate, inviting the community to lace up for some laps and connect both on the ice and off on the sidelines. It was a busy weekend. There is more to catch up on, and all of that can be done whether you are watching or reading on our website, ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or scan the QR code on your screen. Still to come, 3 gold medals and counting. What a day for Canada, including a shining moment for our very own Megan Oldham. More on that, but first let's head outside. Case.
Sure, a snowfall warning and a freezing rain warning. It's a bit numbing, isn't it? It really is. Our weather watch RT says, hold it! I want a question, Case. Dylan says, what's the longest recorded time a rainbow has ever been in the sky? November 30th, 2017, Taipei, Taiwan. 8 hours, 58 minutes of rainbow. Beautiful. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
celebrating fun with family and loved ones all this week. Embracing Family Day, if you will. That last shot seems like something that my crew might do. Picture this at ctv.ca is the email address. Now to some fun found over the weekend from our CTV Barrie family. Our teammate and CTV journalist, Jocelyn Martin, is tucked in there, and there she is. We went to watch her and the Bravado choirs sing their hearts out on the Day of Love. It was a showcase that included some impressive solos, a little bit of comedy, some fun games to see just how well couples know each other, and there I am with our table case. Lots of laughs, lots of CTV viewers. I know that you spent some time shooting with the Bravado choir leading up to that event. Pretty good sounds there, eh?
Good sound and some real characters, some lots of comedy going on behind the scenes too.
And speaking of characters, Jocelyn's been encouraging me to join the choir, and you might find this bizarre, it makes me terribly nervous to sing in front of people.
What could possibly go wrong?
How do I overcome that? Help me.
Just get up there, close your eyes. Get up there, close your eyes and sing. Get up there and maybe click your heels a couple times and say, this is easy, we can do this, this is no problem. Yeah, that might work, and I do it every night out here for weather. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Tonight it's lovely. Tomorrow, let's have a look. Starting with the Weather Watches and Warnings Board, and as we bring this up, the area in yellow, well, that would be a snowfall winter storm warning, up to 15 centimeters of snow and ice pellets. Yeah, Simcoe County, York Region, parts of Muskoka, the area in orange, freezing rain and fog warning, up to 5 millimeters of ice accretion, and that would be for the greater amount of Grey Bruce. So, whoa, yeah, that's right back into hardcore winter. This is the temperature outside your door as we speak. 3 degrees in beautiful Orillia, the Sunshine City. 0 in Gravenhurst. We're going to call it 4 degrees in Newmarket. 3 in Toronto. 5 in Mount Forest, holding on to 5. And -2 in Owen Sound, home of the attack. Let's take a look at the almanac. 6 and -5, the high, the low. A record, well, we're stretching back to 1880 for the record high, although we did tie it a few years ago. 10 degrees, though, originally set. 1880 for record high, -31.7 in 1896. That's some kind of chilly. Sunrise, sunset, 10 hours, 38 minutes of daylight. Roll that forecast radar for us, and here we go. Mother Nature introducing some active weather in the form of mixed precipitation, as mentioned. Freezing rain warning, yes. Ice accretion, certainly possible, 5 millimeters. Some snow, up to 15 centimeters. Messy, messy, messy. This is the southern tip of Georgian Bay Lake. Simcoe overnight temperature settling in -1, -3, -5. Mainly cloudy skies, 40% chance of a few flurries coming down, followed by ice pellets, freezing rain. Yeah, it certainly is possible for this evening, and then into tomorrow, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. That's what we're looking at, possibly 15 in some areas. Ice pellets, freezing rain, and the high tomorrow, -1, -2. Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, -1, -2. Mainly cloudy skies, 40% chance this evening of some snow, ice pellets, freezing rain. Ooh. And then for tomorrow, -2. Snow, about 5 centimeters. Ice pellets, certainly a possibility, as is the freezing rain. Up to 15 centimeters of snow in the Georgina, Newmarket region. Keep that in mind. Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, and Halliburton, -12 with a wind chill this evening under partly cloudy skies. -1, -2, -3 for tomorrow. Increase in cloud cover and snow starting around noon, about 5 centimeters. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lures 5-day extended forecast, and starting this evening in Simcoe County, cloudy skies on the Thursday, 0. Holding on to 0 for Friday. Rain, freezing rain possibilities. Saturday arrives. 40% chance of the flurries as the temperature slowly starts to dip down, and snow on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. York Region, 5-day extended forecast. Cloudy skies on Thursday. Cloud, not much sun at all. Take a look. Cloud cover Friday. Possible freezing rain, 3 degrees for the high. And then Saturday and Sunday at this point, a 40% chance of flurry activity on the Saturday, and snow on Sunday. Oh, there's some sunshine. Muskoka, Parry Sound, I got all excited. Sun and cloud on Thursday and a high of 0. Holding on to 0 for Friday, but the snow is here. And then Saturday, Sunday, 40% chance of more flurries, -2 and -2 on the Sunday. So just a little smidge of the sunshine, Sarah. It's all we got. It's the northern part of our viewing area after that, shall we say, generous helping we received today. Back inside.
Let's talk about Team Canada. We are on a roll at the Milano Cortina Olympics, winning 3 gold medals in 3 days. CTV's Scott Hurst has more on our latest podium performance.
Golden again in the women's team pursuit.
I was so pumped when we won that race.
Valérie Maltais, Yvonne Blondin, and Isabelle Weideman successfully defended their Olympic title today. They won gold 4 years ago at Beijing 2022 and are on top of the podium again.
We've worked so hard for this, and to be returning Olympic champions, like, it's just a dream come true.
The trio of skaters defended their Olympic gold by outracing the Dutch team by nearly a full second. That after beating the Americans in the semi-final.
There were some really competitive teams out there, and we had, like, everybody had a shot, and we knew that to stand on top, I think we had to skate our best, and that meant focusing on ourselves.
This now gives Canada 3 gold medals, all won in the last 3 days at Milano Cortina. Twice our anthem was played on the slopes, now for the first time at these Olympics at the speed skating track.
A whole lot of emotion, but not emotional, just like really excited and really happy and proud of us.
All 3 skaters are highly decorated as a team and in their individual careers as well. Isabelle Weideman has now won 4 medals through 3 Olympic Games. Yvonne Blondin has won 2 golds and 1 silver through 4 Olympics. For Valérie Maltais, she is just one of 3 Canadian athletes competing in their 5th Olympics. That means she's been a part of every Olympic Winter Games since Vancouver 2010. She has won 4 medals overall. This now pushes our medal count to 12. 3 gold, 4 silver, and 5 bronze. Tomorrow, Canada will play Czechia in the much-anticipated men's hockey quarterfinals. Canada already beat Czechia 5-0 in their first group stage game. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Some big news to share coming out of Brampton. Next here on CTV Barrie, how one of the biggest names in cola will boost business at this local plant. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. Please do stay with us. Recapping our top stories, days after a 61-year-old beaten man was in court, facing allegations of historical sex crimes against children. John Wilkinson's trial got underway in Bradford, with 2 women accusing Wilkinson of sexually assaulting them. A gold medal showing for Parry Sound's Megan Oldham. The 24-year-old picked up her 2nd medal of the Games yesterday in the women's big air competition. We went to her high school, where students and staff alike are embracing her success today, as well as St. Louis Moonstone, where she used to ski. And the 2026 Ontario Winter Games will begin at Centennial Park on Thursday night, where the first of 2 opening ceremonies will be held in Orillia. From curling to volleyball and cross-country skiing, 18 sports across 13 venues are scheduled, and the city is expecting an economic impact of up to $5 million. Turning to our markets, Canada's main stock index dropped more than 200 points late this morning due to losses in base metals and energy. Let's take a look at where the numbers closed at the end of the day. The TSX was down 177 points, the Dow was up 32, and the Nasdaq was up 31. And commodities, oil was down, closing at $62.26 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,905 an ounce. Our dollar down, ending the day at 73.23 cents US. Coke Canada is pouring a major new investment into its flagship Canadian manufacturing facility.
Creating 500 new jobs during construction and doubling down on Ontario workers and our world-class supply chain.
The $141 million investment is headed to the Brampton plant with no provincial funding involved. The cash will fund a new production line capable of adding 20 million more beverage cases a year. Officials say the expansion will be built by Canadian tradespeople, with 75% of materials sourced here at home. And another retail chain is preparing to shutter its doors as it files for bankruptcy protection and begins liquidation sales. We're talking about Eddie Bauer, which has store locations at Tanger Outlets, Vaughan Mills, and Upper Canada Mall. Shoppers have until March 12th to use their gift cards and rewards points. Now let's talk about moviegoers. Over the Valentine's Day weekend, they fell in love with a new take on a literary classic.
Heathcliff is gone. You must accept it.
The movie adaptation of Wuthering Heights, starring Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, brought in more than $34 million US across North America. Goat came in second, followed by Crime 101, which debuted in third. How about this collaboration? Drake and McDonald's. Yes, it's officially dropped. This meal made for me, the Afters meal, is available across stores in our country, and it includes a poutine, your choice of junior chicken or McDouble, and a blue raspberry night sprite served in a limited edition black OVO cup. Got to get extra pickles, though, on that McDouble. Still to come, they're the backbone of any Olympic Games. We catch up with volunteers and find out how their dreams are coming true in Milano Cortina. You're watching CTV Barrie.
Hey, it's Steph from Bounce 1041. And this week, we're giving away $25 gift cards to Pizza Delight. So make sure you're listening 5:30 to 10.
Time now to take a look at your Tuesday night primetime lineup. Fallen Angel Murder Club, Friends to Die For, starts at 8 p.m., followed by Criminal Minds at 10 and CTV News Barrie at 11. Volunteers, they don't win medals, but they are true ambassadors of the Olympic spirit. CTV's Heather Butts looks at how they're living out Olympic dreams in a different way.
Anywhere you look during these games, you'll spot this colorful uniform. Part of a small army, 18,000 volunteers spread across venues in northern Italy. This group keeps the Olympics running smoothly around the clock.
It was an experience that I couldn't miss out of.
Most of them proud Italians, like Giulia Rostelli.
It's really more powerful if we put a lot of countries together and all the stories together. It becomes something unique. It's something that I'm giving, but I'm also getting a lot more back. So it's an exchange that I would suggest to anyone to experience in their own life.
Volunteers are behind every Olympic medal ceremony, competition, and spectator experience.
I think they are essential. They are really at the very heart of the games. And what brings the most is basically the enthusiasm.
A tradition, volunteers have been part of the games since 1948. A diverse group, they are often the first and last people athletes and fans encounter.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, grazie. Good night, Americans. Good night, Canadians.
They're not just from the host country. Roughly 2,000 have come from abroad. That includes Claire Provost, a Montrealer who once dreamed of being an Olympic ski racer.
It is a different experience for sure, of being an athlete and being a volunteer. But it is still a dream come true for me to come to the Olympics and participate to it and help out.
We caught up with Provost and her fellow volunteer from the U.S. between shifts at the hockey arena.
Before we got here, we got a Zoom call, and they said, yeah, you're going to be shots on goal. I was like, what? Okay, sure, fun.
Part of the vast workforce who answered the call, willing to give time and energy. Now they belong to a community that goes beyond sport.
How many people can say that they have friends that they met at the Olympics? It's really cool.
As the competition rolls on, the spotlight will stay focused on medal counts and memorable performances. But it's the dedication of volunteers that will help ensure the Olympic spirit remains part of this legacy long after the Games. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan, Italy.
And speaking of giving back, today, February 17th, is Random Acts of Kindness Day. Let's go to someone who never stops giving back, it seems. Casey Colby.
Giving back. We're going to put it as giving back. Okay, sure. Yeah, we'll do that. Mother Nature's giving us back a little low-lying fog. It's coming in right now. Looks like, I'm getting old, but we haven't started with the gauze on the lights just yet, trying to keep me from looking like... well, let's just leave it at that.
But that might have been your smoke machine. But before I let you take that has come out before. Before I let you take it away, just a little fun fact. 40 years ago was when the Random Acts of Kindness Day first popped up in the Francisco. Wow. Maybe I should let you take it.
The Get Up and Go. We'll take it at that. We'll continue tomorrow. The Get Up and Go looks like this, ladies and gentlemen. First thing tomorrow morning, some snow, some ice pellets, certainly in Barrie, Newmarket, -1. Mainly cloudy skies is what we'll be looking at in Gravenhurst at 7 o'clock in the morning, -6. Sarah, get that tongue under control. Have yourself a great evening and better tomorrow back inside.
Yeah, my random act of kindness will be saying good night. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. Take care.